Hi, and welcome to Terry Talks Movies. It's Science Fiction Saturday once more, and I've got a haul for you from Imprint and Vision, and most of it's science fiction related. All of it's incredibly nostalgic. There's 3 volumes of the Tales of Adventure box sets that Imprint have been putting out for a couple of years now, and they're real bangers. They are total nostalgia fests. But I'm going to start with the other stuff that I got first, and that too is a cornucopia of nostalgia for us. So let me just reach around at random and pick up the first one, peak 1970s. And I've got to explain these. It's the Space 1999 Super Space Theatre. Now, what this is are 5 feature films made from episodes of Space 1999 combined into feature films. And I don't think that's a bad idea, because one of the downsides of Space 1999 as a series, of course, Jerry Anderson produced it. Fantastic looking series. Rudy Geinreich did the costumes. The sets are fantastic. The Eagles, the spaceships they've got, the Eagles, are totally wonderful. Some of the best science fiction spaceship designs ever made. But one of the downsides to Space 1999 was a lot of the episodes were very slow. They weren't fast-paced. They weren't like that. They were a bit slow. And so combining them and condensing them down and editing them into feature films, not an entirely bad idea. So we've got this box set, which follows up on Imprint and Vision putting out the series itself. And the 5 movies I got here are Destination Moonbase Alpha, Alien Attack, which is such a generic name, Journey Through the Black Sun, Cosmic Princess, which is from season 2, where they bring the shape-shifting character Maya, played by Catherine Schell, into the mix, and an Italian movie called Spazio 1999 from 1974, which is an Italian version of the first story. Fantastic stuff. Give you a freeze frame of all the extras so you can check them out. Hopefully that will give it to you. Otherwise, I'll put in an insert. And underneath the card, you got a view of some of the fantastic spaceships. There's one side. There's the Moonbase Alpha logo there. Inside, you got some good artwork on this. I like the artwork on these ones. There's your Destination Moonbase Alpha. And the back cover. Alien Attack, which looks like peak 70s movie artwork. And you've got to remember that Space 1999 preceded Star Wars, so it wasn't influenced by Star Wars one tiny bit. On the back, you've got that. Journey Through the Black Sun, which is when they go through a black hole. There's your Martin Landau and Nick Tate. Of course, Barbara Bain was in there. And here we are, Cosmic Princess. I like this one. The cover of that is great. And this one's also got Brian Blessed and Anushka Hempel in it. There's the back of it with Catherine Schell. And here's the Italian one, which I think may have the best cover. Spazio 1999, whatever 1999 is in Italian. It's got a score by Ennio Morricone. I only just noticed that. Look at that. Ennio Morricone did the score for this Italian version of it. That in itself is worth the disc. Inside that one, you haven't got much apart from the disc itself. Cosmic Princess inside. Again, you've got special features written there, so they've kept it very simple on the inside covers. Journey Through the Black Sun, same thing. Alien Attack, same thing. And Destination Moonbase Alpha, same thing again. And to be fair, I would probably go through these rather than rewatch the whole series, because who's got enough lifespan left for that? I would go through these ones, but there's more. You get steak knives as well. No, you don't. You get a book. And this is a rock solid little book. There it is there on the cover. And inside they've got a whole bunch of information. There's an introduction there. This is well made too. This is well put together. Whole bunch of stuff about the productions and some nice artwork as well. There's some of the black and white production photography. So yeah, if you're a fan of Space 1999, I don't blame you if you are. For me, I would have liked the scripts to have been a bit more science fiction, a little more on the ball, but for some reason they weren't. They should have got a whole bunch of 1970s science fiction writers in to do the scripts for this series. That would have been great. Most of them were smoking dope at the time, so you would have got really good scripts. I like this box set because it is a condensed version of the series. Didn't show you the top. There it is. Space 1999 Super Space Theatre. It's a nice, fun box set, and you can have a bit of fun going through the movie versions of Space 1999 and still get the gist of the run of the story. They never got back to Earth. But so there's that. First one. Second one, we're going to go with the other TV series we've got in this. Bewitched Seasons 7 and 8, which are the last two seasons, I believe. They're the Dick Sargent seasons, or two of the Dick Sargent seasons. And there it is in a bright orange box set with the cartoon artwork on the front. Here's the card. Of course, Dick York got replaced as Darren because he had physical issues. He had a back problem and things like that stopped him from making the series, so they replaced Darren's with Dick Sargent, an actor who came out of the closet later on. And this is probably the most queer seasons of Bewitched. Not only do you have Dick Sargent playing Darren, you've got Agnes Moorehead playing Endora, you've got Paul Lynde playing Uncle Arthur, you've got Maurice Evans playing Samantha's father, all queer actors. And that ups the campiness of the series, of course. So there's the back cover there. There's Samantha on one side and on the other. And this is another one where you get a thick book as well. There we got that. The wonderful Elizabeth Montgomery. And there are the discs, and there are disc informations on the inside of the cover. There's a second lot of discs with Darren and Samantha. And again. And then you've got Bewitched Season 7 and 8 story information in this hardcover book. With some fantastic artwork. There is there's Samantha's evil cousin, whose name I have forgotten. What is it? Serena. And there's the wonderful Agnes Moorehead playing Endora. Fantastic actress. One of the best actresses to work in serial TV in the 1960s. Looks like Serena gets another go there. Gets to wear some groovier clothing than Samantha ever did. Always liked Serena more than Samantha for some reason. Endora dressed up in medieval gear. I don't have the previous volumes of this, but they are all out from Imprint Vision, and the shadow is falling onto that from my light, which I've positioned badly. But a lot of fun, and you should get them if you enjoy this series. And there are a ton of extras on them. I will show you the back cover so you can see. Hang on, let me just put that up a little bit so it's above that shadow. So you can see the extras there. Again, thank you to Imprint Vision for sending this one over. And I'm going to move that camera so I don't get that shadow, because that's annoying me all of a sudden. There we go. And the last thing we got before the Tales of Adventure box sets is a Lenticular limited edition of 2000 of Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. And there's the Lenticular cover if you can see that on camera. But sometimes it doesn't show up well on the camera. One of the great Sinbad movies where Ray Harryhausen did the special effects for them. In this case, he does an intelligent baboon. He does a minotaur, a giant colossus made out of bronze. He also does Calabos, a kind of Caliban creature. This one stars Nepo babies. It's got Patrick Wayne, son of John Wayne, Tyrone Power, daughter of Tyrone Power. But you've also got Jane Seymour, Patrick Troughton, so you do get a Doctor Who in this one. There's the back cover. And underneath the card, you get Patrick Wayne and Tyrone Power. That lenticular cover, even though you can't see it particularly well on a camera, it's got some nice depth to it. This one was also directed by Sam Wanamaker, an American director who did a lot of work in the UK after he fled the House Un-American Activities Committee. He was a lefty and he got black banned in the 1950s and ended up doing some really fine directing and also stage work in the UK throughout the 60s and 70s into the 80s. There's your inside cover. That one's got pretty much the same work as the J card. Inside, you've got the disc and you've got the ensemble. Jane Seymour's in this one as well. And here is the disc. Why we've just been putting out all of these Ray Harryhausen Sinbad movies, and they're all bangers. The actors playing Sinbad are sometimes less wonderful than they should be, but you get past that into the magic and the acting of the character actors and Ray Harryhausen's wonderful stop motion, and you're going to have a good time with it. But we also get some cards inside a little slipcase there. There's your lead actors. It's the same one that's inside the cover. Bit of sword play there. There's that intelligent baboon, which is a lot of fun and is done very, very well by Harryhausen. And there's the Calaboss, which is a fantastic creation. It's got a lot of personality for a stop-motion creature. I know there's a lot of Ray Harryhausen fans who watch the channel. This is a fine release of Sinbad in the Eye of the Tiger. Like I said, 2,000 copies, limited edition. This one's 1,080. And there are special features. This is Dynamation featurette, original theatrical trailer, and an isolated soundtrack score. So you've got a few extras on there as well. That then brings us to the Tales of Adventure Collection 7, 8, and 9, which have all come out in 1 month. And a lot of people are online going, why do they put them all out in 1 month? I don't know, but they bloody banger, so I'm going to enjoy them when I watch them. I've already started watching one of these. Number 7 has 3 different versions of Thief of Baghdad. The 1924 silent version with Douglas Fairbanks, the 1940 version with John Justin Sabu and June Dupree, and also Conrad Veidt, which for me is one of the best fantasy films ever made, and the 1961 version of The Thief of Baghdad with Steve Reeves in it. So it's a peplum movie in a sense. There's the card on the back. I'm going to freeze that for a little bit so you can check out all of the extras on there. And there are significant extras. On the box, you've got the front there. And you've got some of the artwork from the 1924 version of Thief of Baghdad, which is a silent movie version, but it's got a score in this case. And it's a bloody good little adventure film. Really good. But for me, the one I really love is the 1941 with Sabu and Conrad Veidt and John Justin and Jude Dupree. Inside, we've got all 3 movies. There's your 1924 version with Douglas Fairbanks. And there was a lot of great effects work done for this movie. 1924 special effects were very difficult to do, but they managed it. Inside, you got the disc and you've also got some of the artwork. There's the disc. I've seen the 1924 version as well as the 1940 version, which I must have seen 5 times. But the 1924 version really works. It's this one's 2 hours and 29 minutes as well. So the silent version is not a short film. Then there's my favorite version, the Alexander Korda version from 1940, which was made partly in England. And then when the Germans started bombing them, they moved the production all the way to Hollywood and completed it there. Michael Powell worked on this as well. There's the back with all of the extras. It's in beautiful Technicolor. And it's got just such a beautifully evoked and textured world that I really love it. There's your disc. And under here, we have Sabu with the crossbow. And he ends up taking out the evil Jafar in the movie, played by Conrad Veidt, who was marvelous. His Jafar, lusting after the princess, is scary and he's full of black magic. And he's also incredibly lustful towards the princess. And that makes it even creepier. Just a fantastic version. I have not seen the Steve Reeves version, but there's the front cover. But I haven't seen Sandakan the Great, which is another Steve Reeves movie. I picked up a copy of that on DVD a while back, and that was actually a surprisingly good action film. So there's that version, and there are the extras on the back. Inside, we've got the disc. Now we've got muscly Steve Reeves in a very nice costume there. So that's a hell of a good box set. And all three movies are, they're essentially the same story, but there are variations. But I like the fact they've put them all together and giving you like an encyclopedia of that particular story. And I love that. And I also love that 1920s style artwork, which looks like it might have come from an old pulp magazine. It didn't, but that's very much the style for fantasy artwork in the 1920s. Second one we got for you is Tales of Adventure Collection 8. This is the front cover. This is the chunkiest one. And the movies we got are the 1916 version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, 1961's Masters of the World with Vincent Price, which is based on the Jules Verne story, I think, Rover the Conqueror, which is about, it's kind of like Captain Nemo, but in an airship. And Charles Bronson's also in it as well. I've only seen really bad copies of that movie. Then we got Valley and the Dragons from 1961, which is a black and white movie based on another Jules Verne story. War Gods of the Deep from 1965, Jules Verne's Rocket to the Moon from 1967, and The Light at the Edge of the World from 1971, which has Yul Brynner and Kirk Douglas in it. There's the J card, and I will freeze frame that for you, and you can check out all of those extras. Beneath the J card, there's the front cover. There are all the titles. There's an ensemble shot from Master of the World. And there's Charles Bronson and Vincent Price from the same movie. Inside, each of the movies has their own disc and their own case. There's a 1916 version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which I'm looking forward to seeing. It's an hour and 26 minutes, so it's not particularly short, but it is a silent movie. And there's a disc, which is kind of very cool in the 1920s style. There's a colorized version of one of the scenes. Here's Master of the World with Vincent Price, a movie I liked when I watched it as a kid. There's your back. Henry Hull's in this movie as well, who was the Werewolf of London back in the day. There's the disc, and there's Henry Hull and Vincent Price. Who's the woman in this one? Mary Webster. And there's Valley of the Dragons, which has got that thing where they got a whole bunch of lizards and stuck extra horns onto them to make the dragons and the monsters in the movie. So it's got that weird thing where, yep, I can tell that that's an iguana, but they've just stuck extra fins on its back. It's that kind of monsters in this one, which stars Sean McClory and Cesare Danova. There's the back cover. Oops, I'll get it around so you can see. There's the disc. And there are cavemen in it as well, because cavemen are always a nice draw card in these kind of movies. War Gods of the Deep with Vincent Price, Tab Hunter, Susan Hart, and David Tomlinson from 1965. I've seen that. No, I did have a copy of this on DVD on a shared disc with another Vincent Price movie. I only know that because I was cataloguing movies yesterday and I saw it. Inside, we've got that, the disc, and a coloured close-up of Vincent Price. Jules Verne's Rocket to the Moon. Great cast in this. I'll tell you the cast before I show you the disc. Bill Eyes, Troy Donahue, Gert Frober, golfing himself, Hermione Gingold, Lionel Jeffries, Dennis Price, Dahlia Larvey, and Terry Thomas. There it is there. And there's the back of it. Done in a much lighter tone. There's your disc. And there is production work with the rocket in the background. It's very much a kind of steampunky movie. I remember it being a lot of fun. Not scientifically accurate, but still. It's great to see that get a Blu-ray release. And Light at the Edge of the World, based on a Jules Verne story about a lighthouse keeper at Cape Horn who gets attacked by pirates, played by Kirk Douglas. Yul Brynner plays the head of the pirates, and Samantha Eggar's in there as well. From the early 1970s. Who directed this? Kevin Billington. It was produced by Bryna Productions, which is Kirk Douglas's production company. There's the back of it. Here's your disc. And there's some of the production photography. Really interesting and diverse lot of movies in this particular release. So you've got 6 movies all up in that one, so you're going to have a good time. Definite Saturday matinee fodder. Still well curated and with a ton of extras on. Then we get to a really interesting one for me because I saw all of these movies in the cinema. 3 of them were made by Amicus Productions. The 4th one was going to be made by Amicus, but it collapsed. And so EMI made the 4th movie. Tales of Adventure Collection 9. The Land That Time Forgot, At the Earth's Core, The People That Time Forgot, and Warlords of Atlantis. All starring, to various degrees, Doug McClure. And one of them, At the Earth's Core, also has Peter Cushing. There's your card off the back with all of the extras on it. There's your front cover. There's the burrowing machine from At the Earth's Core. And there's some fantastic artwork from At the Earth's Core. I've actually rewatched The Land That Time Forgot, and the dinosaurs are all done with puppets in this one, but they're done bloody well with puppets. The miniature work and the puppetry of the dinosaurs works crazy well in that movie. And Doug McClure does fantastic. And it's set during World War One, and a German U-boat sinks a ship, and Doug McClure and a bunch of English sailors take over the submarine. And the submarine commander is played by John McHenry. But his voice is dubbed by the wonderful Anton Diffring. So you get to hear Anton Diffring in that. And they end up going to Caprona, a lost land in the southern Pacific Ocean, where dinosaurs rule, and there's a different kind of biology to the place. It's a lot of fun, that movie, and bloody well shot. So inside, we've got The Land That Time Forgot. Here's the back. Inside we get the disc. And the quality of the print's pretty bloody good as well. There's the ensemble cast on the U-boat. The script for this one as well was written by James Cawthorne and Michael Moorcock, the science fiction writer Michael Moorcock. And they had a great time writing that one. So there's that. Here's the sequel, which again stars Patrick Wayne. Sarah Douglas is in there, Thorley Waters, and it's guest star Doug McClure, because his character from the previous movie comes up. The People That Time Forgot. Again set on the lost land of Caprona, and a mission set out to find Doug McClure's character. And so they go to the island of Caprona and encounter dinosaurs and savages and various pre-human creatures. There's the back of it. Inside, you got the disc. And you've got that. Next up, we've got the third of the movies that was made by Amicus Productions. At the Earth's Core, again, an Edgar Rice Burroughs, based on an Edgar Rice Burroughs story, like the two Land and People That Time Forgot. At the Earth's Core, Abner Perry, played by Peter Cushing, has a boring machine and takes his mate, played by Doug McClure, into a subterranean world where telepathic pteranodons rule the human beings down there. There's your disc. That shows you the level of dinosaurs we get in this movie. They moved on into making them out of guys in rubber suits, a venerable thing that Toho Studios had done for decades before this. Still a lot of fun, that one. And the final one, which is very, very weird, is Warlords of Atlantis, where Sid Charisse turns up playing one of the Atlantean leaders in this. Very weird film. And it's on the tail end of these adventures, these Lost World adventure kind of movies. Not based on an Edgar Rice Burroughs story, this one. It's a whole new creation. There's the disc. There's Peter Gilmore and Sid Charisse in that. I even remember the cinema where I saw this movie. I went all the way across town because I was living in Liverpool and Sydney. And I went literally 50 kilometres to the cinema on the beach at Manly Beach on the North Shore of Sydney to see Warlords of Atlantis. And it took me like 2 hours to get there. And the movie didn't live up to the 2 hours, but it's a bit of fun. So that's number 9. And I don't know what else Imprint's going to do in the Tales of Adventure series. But the 3 they put out this month are bangers. They're totally in my nostalgic comfort zone. They're movies I would sit down and watch any afternoon I've got the time off and enjoy. I mean, you got Vincent Price on that one. You got Doug McClure on that one. You got The Thief of Baghdad, which I will rewatch every year or two anyway. And now I've got 2 more versions of it to watch. And then you got Space 1999, you got Bewitched, and you've got a Sinbad movie. So it's a bloody good month from Imprint Vision. And thank you again to Imprint Vision for sending these ones over. They are so in my, I don't want to stretch my brain, I'm going to just watch movies I enjoy, comfort zone, that I will rewatch and appreciate these movies on a regular basis. So that's what I got for you this time around. A really good lot of movies. Some of them science fiction, some of them fantasy, but very much in the tone of Science Fiction Saturday. Let me know which ones you'd like to watch and which ones you're going to pick up. I know people who have already picked up the Tales of Adventure movies. One person, their parents got them, so that was kind of useful. But I know my friend Damien over in WA's picked up these. They're just, for a certain demographic, fantastic movies, full of nostalgia, but also full of entertainment value. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can support the channel by becoming a channel member, donating to the channel through YouTube as well. A few people have done that recently. Or by becoming a regular patron at patreon.com/TerryTalksMovies. Next up for the Monday video, I've got a couple of modern horror films, which aren't really confronting like the last lot of horror films I did, but they're still pretty good. So until then, watch some good movies, watch some bad movies. You can never go wrong with Vincent Price. And I'll catch you next time.